So during the break, someone actually linked that Imba screenshot you're talking about for
Nice.
on Daybreak. Wow.
Done DJ Helium.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, hello and welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Korean qualifiers for the World Championship Series. Spawning here in the bottom left corner of the map, we have Axiom's pink Terran player Ryung.
He never writes as the red Zerg. It's DongRaeGu.
So do we talk about the curse, or do we just try and ignore it like the redheaded stepchild?
Yeah,
Okay.
ignore it.
You stay in the corner. Nobody loves you.
Exactly. You know?
Alright, so without any curse speak, going into this, Ryung actually has... The reason I love seeing Ryung play lately is, okay, he can play standard. We've seen him play mech rarely, but, oh man, during the WCS... Do you remember that last year's WCS America qualifiers when we cast him and he did, like, Blue Flame Hellions almost every single game?
Honestly? No.
Well, in fairness, it was quite some time ago, but that was when we were on the WCS America channel, not when we were on Base Trade TV. But the thing that really, from that point on, stuck out to me for Ryung was knowing that he's willing to go outside the box, that he was willing to change it up and bust out moves that aren't exactly conventional.
Yeah, I remember that aspect. I just don't remember the Blue Flame, because what I remember
It was two factory Blue Flame like every single game.
Well, he also had that tournament where he almost got through, and Total Biscuit, you know, was a little angry at the RNG of Widow Mines, but he was going for basically two base all-ins with a fake third CC, which we just never see from Terran anymore, and it was kind of hard to tell what was going on, which I guess is the goal. You know, you see 3CC, you think, okay, everything's good, and he would go for the all-in.
It's funny, though, because, I mean, a Terran's third CC is never really fake. You're still going to have a mule or something from it, right? I mean, it's just... The concept of it not mining the same way another base does, I guess, yes.
You would,
you
would cut it like 47 SCVs or something, and just literally not be mining from the third base. It was interesting. We haven't really seen it since then, so I don't think it's really all that effective. But Ryung does have a couple of builds that he can definitely throw out, and they could be Blue Flame, they could be Hellbat base, but they could also be as sneaky as a third base. Like, that's pretty hard to tell.
Yeah.
Zergs aren't usually checking the saturation of Terran's third.
And the thing about DRG too, he's such a solid player. It's going to take something like that extra move to really get around him. But at the same time, just backing it up again, Ryung's got some pretty solid standard play. So it's not like he has to do special tactics or anything crazy to get ahead of DRG, but it could be a way to get an advantage.
Yeah. And DRG is a name that, of course, is popular. Everyone recognizes it. Everyone has high hopes for DongRaeGu in every single tournament that he plays in, but it's just not around as much as it used to be.
I really miss the Reddit posts you'd see for like the Church of DRG and the Church of Tasia and all that. Like,
oh yeah.
His
streak was good for a while.
Yeah, dude, there was like a cult following for everybody at some point, but those two especially stood out.
Yeah. But DRG was my first like fan art that I made. It's pretty legit. Went to a book. Just saying.
Nice.
Apparently he liked it. Anyways, I used to really like him, but yeah, it's a name that's really fallen off in terms of power. There's a time where DongRaeGu was also considering retiring because he couldn't find a team, you know. And now being on Invasion Esports, that's cool and all, but he just doesn't have the same presence. Like, this isn't a team that's in a league anywhere.
I really wish it was, though. I love the players on Invasion. You got Super for their Protoss, you got DRG for their Zerg, you got Gumiho for their Terran. I mean, okay, it's not exactly a Kespa team or anything, but it's got some fantastic players on it.
Yeah. Or like, you know, just teaming up with another team, like Kespa allows, like, Yoey Flash Wolves and whatever. But we do have a Hellbat build. It's off 3 bases, though, so it's going to be a little deceiving. You know, you do your mental checks, you see a third CC, and you think, okay, I can just drone. And, well, you might be really caught off guard when you go to Banelings.
Well, I don't know. Roach one's on the way. It's going to be really hard to make this work. I mean, Hellbats are pretty good against Roaches, and if you pull some SCVs with it, one of the coolest things is, while you don't have to pull all the SCVs with it, you can still bring 4 or 5 and just have them kind of act like medevac. Spam that repair button and keep those Hellbats alive. Although, you know, it's kind of disappointing because the If you leave auto repair on SCVs, it feels like they repair each other as like #1 priority above anything else. You're like, oh look, here's this critical Hellbat. Oh, but my friend's missing 1 health, so just give me a second.
Hellbats. It's the old saying. This was probably a surprise to DongRaeGu, and I guess he will lose the third just by sheer surprise, but he's not going to lose the game.
Cancel at least, too, not like losing the actual third.
You'd hope.
Hopefully, yeah. Alright, so transforming them back into Hellions, I actually like this move a lot. Mobility going to be quite key here over damage. But I don't think he's seen that Roach Warrior yet, so he doesn't quite know the Roaches are on the way. And this right there in the back, all nice and tight.
Luckily, an attack with the Roaches, while possible, and certainly you can just poke and nothing can come of it, it's going to be... Hellbolts are still fairly good at defending against them, and they do see 3, 4... Just 4. No, in fact, they're taking on the Roaches, hey!
Well, when you've got enough of Hellions, they might not be super effective versus Roaches, but the splash damage becomes super effective versus anything if they get hit that much. However, a lot of these times he's getting low and he will turn and go back home. Ryung losing nothing so far for this. Really great start.
Really, very great. But now DRG is taking this seriously, I guess, and he just said, you killed 3 Roaches, I'm going to build like 20 more. And I expect to attack him.
The problem is, though, it's... Well, a lot of Roaches is scary, yes. There's no Baneliness to pair with this. If he's just going to go for a Roach attack this late in the game, I can't necessarily say I see this working. I mean, Ryung's kind of in this awkward spot right now where his production might get caught, but I mean, all his production's finishing up in a second. He's going to have a lot of Marines. He's going to have a lot of stemmed units to work with. And if he brings the Hellion Zone, he'll have a lot of really high health Hellbats if he repairs these up, hopefully.
Yeah. And DRG isn't pushing out anyways, so no worries. With the amount of Roaches he was getting, it should be coming soon, right? And speed's about to finish up?
Yeah, otherwise why not just drone, right?
Yeah, okay, so here it comes now. But you're right, it is a little bit later. That supply is very inflated, but it is still ahead in army supply, and Ryung might just lose out here. He's up behind the wall, but you're not in Hellbat mode.
Pre-pulling the SUV is not going to be the case. A little bit too late to the party. I'm surprised it's not Hellbats either. I guess he's really expecting more Lings to come into this, or not? I don't know, but the Marauder just kind of fumbles and dies. This is going really poorly.
I guess. Yeah, it really is. A lot of SUVs are going down. Well, to take the time to transform, they'd probably die anyways. That is... yeah, this went from being a great game to DRG's game.
I still don't think Ryung's in too bad of a spot. I mean, it is a 3cc build, so recovery options are not so limited.
That's true, and it is still just Roaches. I thought DRG would transition into Mutas after this, or something, but he's just still on Roaches, not even any upgrades. And as such, Ryung's gonna be able to take advantage of Medivacs once those pop out.
Engineering Bay and part of the wall, by the way. Ryung, you remember when he would do this as the opening and then build 2 engineering bays in the back of his main because he knew they'd get knocked down later?
Yes, I always bring that up. Needs to wait for the Medivacs to help out here. Even with Stim, that's still too many Roaches.
Hellbat that's a little bit of splash, but it's a little bit too late, and it's not enough SUVs to actually pull this time. I think, yeah, this might be the killing blow. What kills me for this, it shouldn't have been, right? But good game is called, and DRG, he will take the first game in this best of 3.